Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Joint Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of August 11th, 2010. Let the record show that Commissioners Dumas, Slyman, and Nance are not present. This time, open up the floor for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the Commission on any item not on the agenda, please come forward. No one wishing to address the Commission. Public comment period is closed. Item number 4, public hearing to consider the concept plan for the following plan unit development. Mossy Oak, and being presented by Quality Engineering Services. Who's going to do it?
I'm Jared Barger, representing Quality Engineer. Mr. Chairman, Commission members, good afternoon. A little bit of owner information, a little bit of background on the developer. The owner is American Homeland LLC. Kevin Wynn owns that company. A little bit of history, some past developments Mr. Wynn's done in this parish: Keystone of Galvez, Legacy Hills, Oak Alley Estates, Fountain Hill, and Gateway Cove. Just an existing conditions map. The existing zoning on this particular piece of property is medium intensity residential. As you know, it's allowed 3 lots per acre. This site is 66 acres, which would allow up to 198 residential lots. The current zoning does not require common or open space. In 2007, this particular piece of property had a preliminary plat approval. This preliminary plat was rescinded in May of 2008. In 2010, this is the concept plan submittal on the same piece of property. This proposed concept plan includes 175 single-family detached residential lots. As we said before, it's 23 less lots than is allowed in the current zoning. We have 2.18 acres of mixed use, MU2 usage, 0.81 of an acre for a fire station, 2.6 units per acre, future connections to adjacent properties. Some of the allowable uses in mixed use 2, MU2 usage. We have a good bit of open space, recreation, and landscaping amenities. Some of those are 27.5 acres of common open space. 41% of this entire development is dedicated to open space. Only 20% is required by Ascension Parish Code. A little bit over 17 acres of green space open to Mossy Oak residents to use. We have approximately 5,700 linear feet of pedestrian trails, not including sidewalks. We have landscape buffers along all adjacent residential lots. Some of the staff recommendations on this project stated section 17602D. This site plan is very similar to the subdivision previously approved on this site. Well, as we said before, this site is no longer valid, so we couldn't build it if we wanted to. So we do have some changes. The latest site plan changes include: there's an internal park to preserve trees. There's several 100-plus-year-old live oaks out here. Before they were going to be bulldozed down. Now we created the internal parks to save them. Wet pond accessible by pedestrian trails, future connections to adjacent properties that were not included on the rescinded preliminary plat. We have a fire station track now, and we have a commercial track with MU2 usage. These items were not included on the rescinded preliminary plat. Another staff recommendation. Lack of housing variety in single-family lots is not consistent with general character item number 6. Staff recommends no more than 50% lots with a maximum of 50-foot frontage. Section 7602, item number 6 states in the code, provide an environment of stable character compatible with surrounding area and combine and coordinate architectural styles, building forms, building relationships with a possible mixing of different urban uses in an innovative design. This section does not specify size or required number of lots. The latest site plan does include the following urban uses: single-family lots, 50s, 60s, and also custom home sites, fire station tract, which is a public facility, commercial tract with MU2 usage, be a private facility. Staff recommendation, section 17602A. The development does not include many additional amenities over the previously approved subdivision for this site, which is not consistent with general character, item number 9. Section 7602, item number 9 states, provide for more usable and suitably located recreation facilities, schools, and other public and private facilities. The latest plan does include internal parks to preserve trees, 5,700 linear feet of pedestrian trails, wet pond accessible to pedestrians, future connections to adjacent properties that were not included on the rescinded preliminary plat, fire station, and MU2 usage commercial. Again, these items wasn't included on the rescinded preliminary plat. Again, the proposed concept plan has 175 residential lots, all single family, 2.18 acres of mixed use, 0.81 acres for a fire station, pedestrian trails and parks, 2.6 units per acre.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions, comments by commissioners? Nobody has any questions and comments, really? All right. No comments at this time. Open up the floor for public hearing. Anyone wishing to come forward and comment, please come forward, and you'll have 3 minutes to comment. No one wishing to comment. Public hearing is closed. Questions, comments by commissioners?
Well, going back and looking, yes, this design is similar to the original proposal approved by the commission. I would have been very surprised if it wouldn't have been, because there's some issues with this property. I don't think you have a lot of design options as you do with other properties out there. But what I'm looking at, I think, is a better proposal than what we originally had 4 years ago. And I'd like to offer a motion to recommend approval to the parish council.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Marchand for approval to go to the council.
I think I'm going to second that, because we have some unique circumstances here with a plethora of existing servitudes, drainage servitudes. Some of them, the drainage servitudes, some of them are fairly significant, and I think this has got there's some serious restrictions on this land, and this would appear to be a fairly good usage of the land. So I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a Motion by Commissioner Marchand to approve the council, as I stated, seconded by Commissioner Dalton. Any opposition? Motion carries, and it will be sent to the council for approval or review. I shouldn't be presumptuous and say they can approve it. Okay, item number 5A, public hearing to consider, this is old business, to consider the major use change for the following plan unit development: Bullion Crossing, site plan revisions, phase 1, 2, and 3.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to excuse myself on this item
Okay.
for reasons that before I was appointed to this commission, I spoke to the commission about this, and I am excusing myself per legal.
Okay. Commissioner Kluot will be excused from this discussion and voting on this particular item.
Thank y'all for the last approval. A little bit of owner information on Bullion Crossing. Owners of Fleet Odom Development, Mr. Kelly Seals. Some of the projects he's done: Dutchtown Gardens, 12 Oaks, Marshall Bond Estates, Lakes at Stonegate, Nicholson Lakes. Site plan of the 84.61 acres of the proposed Bullion Crossing site. Existing zoning. September 12, 2007, the Planning Commission approved the concept plan of a PUD here. November 1st, 2007, Council concept plan was approved. December 12, 2007, a final development plan was approved. So it is currently zoned a PUD. The current zoning allows for single-family residential, townhomes, and also some commercial space. As we speak, 130 single-family lots can be constructed here, 96 townhome lots, 150,000 square feet of commercial space, which amounts to being about 3 units per acre. Tract A-1 is currently zoned RM. That's located off of Swamp Road. A picture of the existing approved concept plan for the PUD. The reason we're coming to ask to revise this plan, the Ascension Parish School Board approached Fleet Odom Development about purchasing a tract of land for a new K-5 school. Excuse the typo there. I have 6, but it's supposed to be K-5. This school will provide relief to existing schools due to the increase in population. The location is ideal with its proximity to the development in Bullion Crossing, Airline Highway, and Highway 42. Construction has started on the site, but we've held it up trying to get a major use change for the school. This is a site plan of the proposed Ascension Parish School property. It'd be 12.42 acres. June 9, 2010, this particular concept plan was submitted. As you can see in the bottom left corner, my bottom left, it had a connection to Swamp Road. Revisions to this concept plan submittal. Connection added to Enterprise Avenue to improve connectivity to the commercial tracks. The Swamp Road connection was revised for emergency circulation only. It will be in an 18-foot unimproved limestone road with a gate to prevent vehicles from using the connection. This is a picture of the revised plan. The proposed development will have 220 single-family detached residential lots, Again, 12.42 acres for a school site, 21.87 acres of common open space, which amounts to being 26% of the development, about 2.6 units per acre. We estimate lot prices to be between $52,000 and $75,000. Estimated home values, $225,000 to $375,000. When we took the commercial out of this development, we kind of took a regional approach. In the parish, we've been, you hear talk about trying to develop with regional approaches, especially on drainage, regional detentions. So we took a regional approach on commercial. This particular development will be accessed through 2 roads through a large commercial development. So we kind of took a regional approach using that commercial, a progression to a residential, and then to a school. Differences and similarities. Again, the existing approved concept plan, 228 residential lots, 98 townhomes, 130 single-family lots. Proposed is 220 residential lots, all single-family, 150,000 square foot of commercial in the existing PUD. We're asking to change to a K-5 school site, pedestrian trails and parks in both. The existing is 3 units per acre. The request is 2.6 units per acre. Less units than previously approved, and no commercial space or townhomes as previously approved. Open space, recreation, and landscaping amenities provided within Bullion Crossing. 21.87 acres of open space, which is 26% of the development dedicated to common open space. 20% is required by Ascension Parish. 4 internal parks and 18.5 acres of green space open to all Bullion Crossing residents. No vehicular circulation. There'll be approximately 4,200 linear feet of pedestrian trails that'll intertwine through most of the 18.5 acres of green space, which will allow residents to enjoy the preserved green areas. Again, this is some non-vehicular circulation. Landscape buffers will be along all adjacent residential lots. Quality of life components. Multiple interior parks. We'll have 4 of them, which will be available to all Bullion residents. Again, non-vehicular circulation. A trail system throughout the 18.5 acres of preserved green space. Again, we have non-vehicular circulation. And we'll have a school within the neighborhood. Phasing of the lot, development and sales. We're planning to phase this project in 3 phases. This is a slide of phase 1. It'll have 88 residential lots, the 12.42 acre school site, an internal park, and some walking trails. And the unimproved emergency connection to Swamp Road. 1 connection from the commercial, which will be Marketplace Drive. Phase 2 be 74 residential lots with 2 interior parks. And also the second connection to the commercial, which will be Enterprise Avenue. Third phase be 58 residential lots with 1 interior park. Mr. Lambert? Mr. Lambert's going to handle the traffic portion. He's from ABMB.
ABME, thank you. In 2007, we did a study that was approved by the parish and also by DOTD. The recommendations that came out of that study were to have a left turn lane and a signal put in at the access drive that is in LA 42. And then at LA 42, because of the level of traffic that goes through there, left turn restrictions were imposed. So the full access drive is going to be the other drive. The improvements weren't constructed at that time when it was approved because the improvements were going to be triggered by traffic signal warrants. DOTD doesn't want to put up a signal that doesn't meet the volume requirements for a warrant, and so when the traffic volumes reach that warrant, the improvements were going to be put in. Go to the next slide there. So the difference, so we did another study in 2010. We grew the traffic from the last report based on kind of accepted growth rates. We submitted the study. We kind of did some calibration checks out on Airline Highway. We felt that it matched up, but DOTD wanted to get some new counts. So once school gets back in and things kind of settle down for a few weeks, we're going to go collect new counts, update a third report, and work with DOTD and the parish and resolve all comments. The main difference between 2007 and 2010, as they were describing, is we deleted the retail trips, which is a PM generator, and it was substituted with the school trips, which is a morning generator. So you kind of had a switch there, and the impacts of the traffic from the retail to the school. But the homes, as you know, the size went down on the number of homes, and so that was a little bit lowered in terms of the residential trips. So as we said, we're working with DOTD to resolve all our comments. We're requesting that you approve this conceptual plan based that we have all of their comments addressed by the time we go to final development plan. And the developer is committed to making all of these improvements now. Typically, when we said the signals are put up when the warrants are done, they'll make all the improvements done now, everything but hanging the heads. And so when the traffic volumes warrant the signal going up, all we have to do is simply put those heads on and flip on the switch, and the signal will be operational. So they're making that commitment now instead of saying, well, we'll just wait. So that concludes the traffic report on that.
We'll go over some of the staff recommendations. Section 17602. Lack of housing variety in single-family lots is not consistent with general character item number 6. Section 7602, item number 6 states, provide an environmental of stable character compatible with surrounding area and combine and coordinate architectural styles, building forms, and building relationships with a possible mixing of different urban uses in an innovative design. Bullion Crossing does have a variety of lots from 50 by 125 up to 1 acre lots. Bullion Crossing is approved with 15% of the lots being larger than 50 foot wide. It is now being proposed that we have 20% being larger than 50 foot. So we did do 5% better than the existing PUD. Regional approach to the commercial is used. There is an addition of a K-5 school in the development. Another staff recommendation, section 17602, lack of sidewalks on all streets is not consistent with general character item number 7. Section 7602, item number 7 states, provide an environment that encourages non-vehicular circulation. Bullion Crossing will have approximately 6,750 linear feet of sidewalks through the development. Bullion Crossing will have approximately 4,200 linear feet of pedestrian trails throughout the common open space areas, not including the sidewalks. There will be approximately 10,950 linear feet of pedestrian circulation. The next slide, maybe. I can pass it around. The next slide shows in red the amount of pedestrian the amount of pedestrian circulation we actually have in the development. Again, the approved concept plan is 228 residential lots, which consist of 98 townhomes and 130 single-family lots. The proposed is 220 residential lots, all single-family. Approved now is 150,000 square feet of commercial. We're proposing a K-5 school site. Pedestrian trails and parks in both. Approved is 3 units per acre. We're requesting 2.6 units per acre. The approved plan has no Swamp Road connection. We're requesting emergency connection with gate to Swamp Road. In closing, this development has thousands of linear feet of non-vehicular circulation, trails, and sidewalks. Again, we took the regional approach in commercial to the single family to the school, a progression, and this development will have 5% more lots greater than 50 foot wide than previously approved.
There's a comment here. It says open space has decreased to 25% of the site. Can you tell us what it was before, the open space percentage?
Derek, do you have that?
Hello, my name is Derek Murphy with Quality Engineering. The original, let's see, the total open space before was 31.4 acres. In this particular case, we're still going to have, we only showing our acreage here because we're actually going to give some of our green space with the school purchase. So we're still going to have a good bit of green space, but because we selling off 12.4 acres to the school board, some of that will still remain green space.
And then another question, back in December 12th, 2007, stipulations were placed that there must be a tree management program, reforestation plan, mitigation area, and a tree inventory. Is that going to be included in this? Is
Yes.
that affected by the major use plan at all?
Yes, we're going to, I believe because that had to be done before the construction plans were approved, that was previously done, we're gonna have all that and make sure everything is up to staff's approval.
Okay.
Mr. Bauer, I think you asked if the school site was going to affect the actual tree area.
Well, no, just
I'm pretty sure it will not.
There was a note talking about all the stuff in regards to trees.
That
was
was done
Okay.
before construction actually started, and then I'm pretty sure the school site will not affect any of those trees.
Okay, thanks.
Any other comments, questions at this time?
I've got one. I'm having some real issues with this alleged emergency exit to Swamp Road.
Yes, sir.
And what I see happening with that is I see it becoming a connection, and I'm seeing traffic going onto Swamp Road in both directions. And Swamp Road, anybody that's been out there certainly knows Swamp Road cannot handle any more traffic.
Yes, sir.
And this alleged emergency thing seems very thin to me. I don't understand how this can be justified, and I'm very concerned about what it's going to do to Swamp Road, because Swamp Road is narrow. It's difficult for school buses and cars to pass. And I know in my heart of hearts that if we have any connection to Swamp Road, in the very near future, we're going to have a child from one of those subdivisions wanting to walk to school, which means they're going to come down across there, that we got an unguarded railroad crossing. Not to mention the trains are not going 20 miles an hour when they go through there. They're moving at a much higher speed. I think we're setting the stage by having this connection to Swamp Road for a child to get killed and or vehicular accidents. And I am very concerned about this access to Swamp Road.
Yes, sir.
Very concerned. And I would like to see that go away, quite frankly, unless the developer would be willing to agree to do something like the 3-laning of Swamp Road, putting a traffic light at Old Perkins, You understand where I'm going with this?
Yes, sir, I do.
So how do you feel about that?
Mr. Dalton, whatever you wish. I think we could,
So
Try to
you're
please.
agreeing to take the Swamp Road connection away? Is that what you just agreed to?
if that's what you wish.
How does staff feel about that? Can we do that? Can he just strike it off?
If you put that condition on us to send to the full council, yes, sir.
But would you be willing to accept that? I mean, you understand my concerns. Whether this is a good location or not for the school is kind of irrelevant to me, because
what
the
it
schools
takes to
have to
get-
go somewhere.
The school board asked us to include that.
And I understand that, but
If
I
that's what
would
it
never
takes
put
to
it.
get the site done, the
I would never
major
have
use
put a
change,
school next to a railroad track like that. I mean, there's hazardous materials going up and down there all the time.
Yes, sir.
But that's not the issue before this commission. But this public safety issue with Swamp Road, not only the one over here, but also where the school board property touches Swamp Road there at the railroad tracks, I would like it be clearly understood that there will be no connections to Swamp Road, and that we have fences there to prevent the pedestrian traffic or kids from the neighborhood walking to school, because this is not worth one child's life.
Yes, sir.
One child is way too many. Not to mention all the potential other accidents that could be driven by this. So I could embrace this a whole lot better if you could embrace taking that Swamp Road connection and assuring us that there will not be any Swamp Road connections at all in either
what it takes.
location.
Just to clarify,
sir.
the school board wanted the location by the railroad track, or they wanted Swamp Road to have a connection. Which one were you talking about there?
The emergency access connection.
Okay.
They wanted the emergency access connection?
Yes, sir.
And was there a reason?
I mean, there is a representative from the school board, if y'all would like to ask him, I guess, if he wouldn't mind coming up. Is that okay?
He's here. Let's hear what he has to say.
Not trying to throw you under the bus, guys.
No
School
pun
bus.
intended.
Having more than one way in and out of a school site is beneficial for plenty of reasons. Safety is one of them. Everybody keeps talking about safety. Well, if there is an emergency, how are we going to get out? So having another exit out of the campus other than Airline Highway, the obvious site was Swamp Road. That's why.
Could you just state your name? Kind of go back.
Scott Duplashan.
Thank you, staff.
I know, but I'm still concerned about that it's not going to be what you're saying, that it's going to become something else, quite frankly. And you've got two exits to out to Airline Highway.
But they're right beside each other.
Well, they are, but they're separated, but still. And Airline Highway has a tremendous right-of-way. Airline Highway has a tremendous right-of-way. So I'm coming back to the same thing. I think you've got two ways in and out. And I'm just afraid this Swamp Road connection is going to become something that is going to create more and more problems, and I'm especially concerned about children walking along Swamp Road, and I can see that happening if there's any access at all. That's my concerns.
Well, currently, if the school's built currently, there will be nothing to stop them now. If you put a gate, at least that deters them from wanting to walk. So, I mean, you actually increasing the chances of them not walking by putting the gate, in my opinion.
I'm just afraid of what's going to happen to Swamp Road if there's any access at all. And I don't have a crystal ball, and I'm looking for ways to prevent further traffic on Swamp Road, but yet let this development go through. And Swamp Road is my concern, and I'm very uncomfortable with what I see on paper here.
Well, there's nothing wrong then with going ahead and placing the condition. We don't need to sign a blank check on this and just say, okay, well, you do whatever you're going to do. Go ahead, put the condition on it for improvements to Swamp. Well, first off, let the school be built. Let's see if it's really necessary. If it's necessary and improvements are made to Swamp Road, then they go ahead and build it. But keep the land can continue to stay dedicated for that purpose. It doesn't mean something actually has to be built there. but keep it dedicated for that potential purpose, and if it's needed, then. But only when it's actually needed. And if it's never needed, then it doesn't get built.
I'm just concerned with a gravel access turning into, well, we'll just drive across it and we'll have a little bit, and the next week we got 10 more, and the domino effect.
Well, Howard, I'm not going to try and sit up here and speak for all the commissioners, but I think we all, to some degree, had concerns about the school being built all the way at the back of a development, too, next to a railroad track. That's not, I don't consider that to be a good decision. But that might have been all that the developer was willing to offer to the school board, too. I don't particularly care for having something like that dumped in my lap, or I've got to make a decision on something like that, because I think we're setting a very dangerous precedent with that. And we were talking about dangerous precedents earlier tonight. But if the issue, the Swamp Road issue, a connection to Swamp Road, as far as being an issue, I don't really think it is. I think we can place conditions on that enough to take care of that. Now, some of the other questions I've got is going back to staff with a variety of housing. As far as a PUD, I think this development can handle a variety of housing, not just single-family residential, and it's not doing that. I don't mean to try and take away from the issue, but this particular development, there's several issues with it. And right now, I really don't have I'm going to tell you, I don't have a comfortable feeling making a motion or voting to approve a recommendation to go forward to the parish council with it. That's just me.
In regards to the traffic study, it says proper traffic study has not been provided. That's what we spoke about, that will be done, but once the school, so that's one of the major three issues of disagreement here. What about the sidewalks? We're not willing to add additional sidewalks? I know you said there was some percentage number of square linear feet, but what about the ones that don't have sidewalks currently on them? Is there reasons for that?
I mean, honestly, it's fiscal reasons. We felt like we provided enough sidewalks. If we have to put more, we can certainly address it in the final development plan if y'all wish. And I'd like to, I mean, if I could speak tonight and say sidewalks everywhere, as I would, but that could be something we could address in the final development plan.
Okay. Well, I guess a question for staff on interpretation of the PUD section there. Would every residence need to have a sidewalk to meet that requirement?
It's our interpretation that because they're asking for a PUD or a revision to a PUD, it opens up the book for your interpretation of that language. It is our interpretation that if you're building a school as part of a subdivision and you can't provide a safe route to school for every single household, that is not acceptable.
Okay. Any other comments at this time? At this time, I'd like to open up the floor for public hearing. Anyone in the audience wishing to comment, please sign in, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. No one wishing to comment. Public hearing is closed. Additional comments, questions by commissioners?
I mean, I'm like Commissioner Marchand. I'm not ready to make a decision on this without, number one, all the traffic study being completed, having a non-committal on the addition of the sidewalks, and the variety of single-family lots. So I don't know if anybody has another motion, but would 30 days be sufficient to address the traffic studies and all that? If we were to defer?
Yeah, we could have a report done by then. I can't say that we're going to have. I can't say that we're going to have DOTD's comments addressed within 30 days. They work at their own schedule, but we can go collect counts, provide a report that we can all discuss and your staff can look at as well and make a decision here. But as far as DOTD is concerned, I can't speak for them.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll make a motion to defer and give the applicant 30 days to address these issues, taking the input from the commission.
I'll second it.
Have a motion to defer for 30 days to the next meeting by Commissioner Barrow, seconded by Commissioner Marchand. Any opposition? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I ask that you ask legal an opinion
Ask
on
that I
a
ask?
deferment. Ask that you ask.
What is it you wish me to ask her? That
If a PUD can actually be deferred, I think actually the PUD has to have a recommendation for approval with conditions, or denial and send it to the full council.
all right. Ms. Manda, do you wish
I
to comment
believe
on it?
he's correct. Ricky, when we discussed this week, is that what? Yes.
Okay.
Well, then let me
Thank you.
withdraw that motion
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
defer and make a substitute motion to deny.
All right.
Second.
Have a motion to deny by Commissioner Barrow, second by Commissioner Marchand.
You're basing that on what, Steve?
The three items that I mentioned, the traffic, the sidewalks, and the variation of housing types.
Okay. Still got second,
Yeah.
Commissioner? Okay. Any opposition? Motion carries. Okay. Item number 6, adjournment.
Motion.
Motion to adjourn and seconded.
Second.
We convene in 5 minutes for the zoning commission.